if you have the time, do watch it. I think you'll really love it.
Yeah,
It's a
I some one of the American tutor had, suggested me the Notebook movie someday. Okay, and you are suggesting me just a Notebook. So yeah, coincidence. Hmm.
Hello, hi Anand.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
So, I think like I've had one session with you before, right? A long while ago, I feel.
Yeah, I think it has been 7, 8 months or 6, 7 months at least. Yeah, in second lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, during the second lockdown. Oh,
Mm.
long time. So, how has your journey been?
Yeah, it has been quite good. I'm doing well. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So, education actually is one of my favorite topics because I work in the field of education.
Mm.
So, I quite enjoy it. So, tell me this, what are your thoughts on education? How important do you think education is?
Of course, in I think education is the basic necessity of human being. Human being must get education to have a better life. But in the same time, I think the education system that we have, it is not teaching us the way of living. Just these education systems are teaching us how to be good at earning a living, and somehow, like when we grow up, we find that whatever we learned in our school is not useful in our life. Just it was useful to get a job, and that job is giving us food.
Hmm. I agree with you, more or less. So I agree with you, and I feel like I sometimes question the practicality of the education in getting the job also. By the way, so you put more faith into like the system by saying that at least it's getting you a job. But I feel like a lot of like at least the people in my friend circle who have completed their patent education like graduation. I don't see a lot of them employed, not in jobs that they would want to be employed in at least. So I guess we maybe are going wrong somewhere.
Yeah, like, but if we look at our education system and our parents and society, just they will be always teaching us to get a job, to get a earn money. Okay, and that's why they put us into school. So I remember, never my parents or anybody in my society told me to become good in your life, become happy, learn and things that is going to make you happy, prosperous in your life. No, they were just telling me be good at your subject, get a good marks, be topper in your class. They were making me ambitious, just that. Okay, and that was somehow putting me in depression. Not everybody, that is putting you in depression to get better than other. And that's what our education system is teaching us.
I think I agree with you. Um, so I feel like it's not just that, and I agree with the concept of the rat race. We constantly push children to compete against each other when they shouldn't really, because like it's not like if you don't stand first in class, you won't be educated at the end of your schooling. So it is a sad, like that's a sad perspective to throw at people. But I feel like it's also a lot of rote learning that's involved. Now, if a child is rote learning, then of course he would be competing. Rote learning is learning by repetition. You know how we call it ratta in Hindi. So that's rote learning, and it's very common, very prevalent. Like even now, I see so many learners who go ahead and they mug up the grammar rules. That makes it very difficult. So tell me this: what do you think about? So this is our perspective on education. What do you think are the disadvantages to people who are not educated? Let's say there is a mass population that belongs to that bracket too.
So I think the most, like, the big disadvantage of people who are not educated, they are suffering that somebody is educated and I'm not educated. At the end of the day, I think both are living their life in same way. Okay, educated people are also depressed, they are suffering their life, and uneducated people are also suffering this planet. But if we look at the educated people, they think themselves, yeah, they are educated at least. But the uneducated people think they are not educated. Somebody is educated in this world, and that is something that is bothering them. after all, I think both are fine, though both are living their life in good way. Even somebody is uneducated and they are living their happy life, and maybe other are not educated, but after, like, somebody is not educated, they are leading their happy life, okay. But somebody is educated, after all, he is very misery, okay, miserable in his life, in their life. So I don't think that, sometimes it looks like education is not making any difference. The education that we are getting, just the knowledge or experience that we gain in our life, that is going to make something difference in our life.
Hmm. And I feel like I agree with your perspective. I feel like, anybody can be in misery. Education doesn't certify that, oh my God, you're educated, so you'll remain happy for the rest of your life. That
Mm.
it isn't that foolproof. But I feel like, when I look at educated people, so I contrast them with illiterate people. Like that's the idea in my head. And like I feel like illiteracy, when that brings a lot of baggage, unwanted baggage with it. Imagine you're walking down a road and you can't read what is written on the top of shops, so you don't know which shop to enter. You have to look inside to guess whether, like it's a very strange concept. Like I've never been in that situation, or like somebody speaking a language, very commonly spoken language, and that happens with English a lot. Like, we just start talking in English sometimes, and I have grandparents and relatives who don't understand English at all. And I see their faces, and that, that sort of a feeling, that, oh my God, I'm not good enough. That's a very bad feeling. So that's the only thing that I have. Like, I feel like everybody should be able to feel confident in their own skin. That is where I put education. It's giving you some
Mm.
confidence.
Yeah, yeah, right. I'm agree with you. Yeah, that's what I told you. The uneducated people are just missing these things. After all, I think they are fine. They are also good if they know how to lead their life well. That's all.
Definitely. So just two small corrections. We never say I am agree. We say I agree
I
to.
agree. Yeah.
Okay? Perfect. Okay. So tell me this. If you could choose, if you could go back in time, and if you could choose a different path, education wise, for yourself in your life, would you do that? And why would you do that?
Or like, what kind of education path I will choose?
Yes.
I think definitely I would like to learn from nature, from surroundings, from circumstances, not from the a plus b to the whole square what is, okay. Yeah, I would like to learn more of the life lessons than lessons that is making me good at getting a job, or to getting admission into any institution. So I think, yeah, that's all, because so far I have only experienced one thing, that whatever I have learned from my experience on others experience, that is only helping me to grow in my life. And
Mhm.
it is helping me to become better in my life.
I completely agree with you. I feel like, the practical aspect, it's a very crucial one. And you can draw an example from this. Let's say, whatever occupation your parents are in, you would know so much about that job. And there's a great tendency that kids from those particular homes, they go back to those occupations. It's not exactly hereditary, but that's what you lean in towards because you know so much about it. And I think that is what I'm talking about, like the practical aspect. You're very correct. You can learn by looking at other people, learn through observing, and that's the best kind of learning. Actually, we should all
Yeah.
be pushed more towards it. So tell me this: if you could change one thing about the school or slash the college that you went to, what would you change? Would this practical aspect, would you try to include it in the system?
I will choose one thing, that make a school college without walls, okay, without any shed, just let the children do whatever they want to do, okay. There should be a river around it in which children can swim, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. There should be a garden where they can walk and they can feel the fragrance of flower, you know. Like these sort of things should be done. There should be a field where they can sit, they can meditate, they can do yoga, meditation, yeah, these things. But there should be no book around them to teach anything, just practical, practical, yeah.
Oh, I like that concept. I would want to go to that school though.
Hmm.
Books, I feel like books do limit you to a certain extent. I have actually had the fortunate, advantage of studying subjects that don't have books. Let's say I've studied philosophy, and there is no textbook that they give you. It's like, you're a philosophy student, read this. No, there are like a lot of books you can refer to, but there's no textbook, guided textbook for it. And I feel like I've learned so much because of that, because you have to go out of your way to acquire information. I feel like, yeah, that'll be a very cool school. I think you should actually go ahead with that idea,
Hmm.
opening a school like that. But why the river? I'm very intrigued by having a river surrounding the school. Why the river?
Like I don't know, I have been fascinated by river in my childhood. I used to uh, s- like bath for 4 or 5 hours in a day, okay, at least sometime, yeah. So that's why I love it. Yeah, yeah, I love it. And I remember one thing, that that feeling I have, so much joyous feeling while we were in group with friends. We used to play in the river. We used to bath. So many games we used to play, and I think that was the most beautiful thing that we did in our childhood. So that's why I love river. There should be river that where, and I think sometime if you are drowning in river, you will learn the actual thing, how to survive. You will learn so much thing while you will be drowning, okay? And if you will save yourself or somebody saves you, these are the practical thing that teach us lots of lesson. Yeah.
I've actually never been in a river. Like I've been like crossed a river because there was a river in the path when we were trekking, but I've
Okay.
never
I
like
I
yeah
think you would have been in swimming pool.
yeah. I've been in a lot of swimming pools though.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
only like I've only ever been in Ganga because like I live in Banaras, so that's compulsory. You have to go to River Ganga, but that is it's not you can't enjoy it because the flow is very like the current
You will
is
be, yeah, I know.
very
You are not
mm,
familiar with the river. You are just going to get your scene washed in the river. So that's why, yeah,
yes,
you will be very scared. Just scenes would be washed. Otherwise, you can also be washed if you will go inside, if deep water. Okay, so yeah.
definitely. And there's so many people. It's very difficult to enjoy in like that arrangement. But I would love to go and like visit a river someday with my friends. That'll be so cool. Okay. So I think kids should be able to enjoy nature just as you intend for them to in this school of yours. So do you think having no walls would not distract them? Maybe they would not be able to study as much?
I want them to distract. I want them to be distracted. I want them to see the birds in the sky, how they are flying. So they could also imagine to fly. They will be not bounded in the books. Okay. And I want them to see that, there should be no boundary in this world. Yeah. Because world itself is a very small thing. Like this planet is a small, very small, when we compare with the solar system. So why bound them in within a walls? Okay, just that's
Mhm.
why I have concept that there should be no walls, without a wall, without a shed. Okay, they should be in nature. They should be in a real circumstances and situation where they can learn something to get out of it, to survive themselves.
To help, so not survive themselves, but to help themselves survive or to
Yeah.
survive, just in general. And I completely agree with you. Wow, that'll be wonderful. There's this really sweet movie that I'm like, it's just coming to me right now because it's so similar to what you imagine a school to be. The name of the movie is The Notebook. So there's a different The Notebook, which is an English movie. There's a novel about it by Nicholas Sparks. This is a Kashmiri movie actually, and I saw it when I was in Kashmir, and I was boggled down. It's very wonderful. It's about two teachers, and it's a school which is in the middle of a lake. Okay, so you see, there's a huge lake in Srinagar, and people live in the lake, and they have like houses in it, and there's like markets in it. It's very beautiful. So there's a school for that community inside the lake. but no teacher wants to go and teach there because it's in the middle of literally nowhere. So this one female teacher, she volunteers and she teaches, and it's wonderful. And she makes a notebook, okay, and that notebook is shared by another male teacher who follows, and then they follow up. But it's the teaching that they do that in that particular movie, that is what draws my attention. So if you have the time, do watch it. I think you'll really love it.
Yeah,
It's a
some one of the American tutor had, suggested me the Notebook movie someday. Okay, and you are suggesting me just a Notebook. So yeah, coincidence. Hmm.
Even I've seen the Notebook, like the American version. I think it's a British or American movie. I can't quite remember, but I've seen it and I've read the book. That's also wonderful. But you should check this out as well.
Yes, sir. Hmm.
Lovely.